Hello, I'm so happy to be connecting with you all in this episode. I want to talk about some cool manifestations that have come to life, a new job, and what does that have to do with pink and purple cars? I'll tell you more. If you're watching me on my YouTube channel, you'll see that my background has changed and I've done some rearranging during this time. I hope you enjoy it as I'm experimenting with my space. It keeps changing and I'm always here for going with the flow of it all. But more on what I've manifested lately. I recently received, I want to use that word, I received a new job, and it is a job that I was calling in for some time. I have been trying to figure out, if not consulting, then what else, and definitely this deep inner space that I have with you all is certainly a manifestation of that. But in addition, I live in a 3D world and need 3D income, and I wasn't quite sure what my next step would look like, and I'm sighing because it took a lot of figuring out and introspection and a reflection with mentors, healers, coaches, psychics, and more to experimenting and trying things out and seeing what clicked and what didn't. And many steps later, I got to this place of I got a job, and I've been there for several weeks now, and it's been very fulfilling in many ways and met a lot of criteria. And that's what I want to talk about to you all is I think the biggest thing I needed to personally do in my journey, and you may relate to it, is I needed to get super clear on what is it that I'm calling in. And I didn't know the job title and the space 100% when I was calling it in, but I developed criteria over time. I knew for sure the type of people I wanted to be working with, and I hope as you hear me talk through this, you can connect it to maybe you're calling in your next job, role, iteration of your business. It could be in some other aspect of your life, but that you're trying to manifest a future state that can be your present state. And I am coming back to what I was starting to reflect on are these criteria. Like, I knew for sure I wanted deeply empathetic people I work with who make the work environment friendly and fun and not too pressury, like feeling that sense of camaraderie as well as a deep sense of trust and connection. And I have chills as I say that. I did a version of it and I thought that was enough. Like, I listed out all that I want and I'm going after. I tried a few types of roles. I wasn't getting much traction. I tried a different kind of role and I'm like, nothing's happening. And what helped me the most is when I was talking with intuition mentor of mine, and he said, this job, it's not written. It's not written in your Akashic records, essentially, is what he said. And as you all know, if you've been following me for a while, I work very much within the Akashic records, because that is the book of our soul. It writes down and it has information around what is it that we plan to experience in this lifetime. And then there's probabilities around things, like we get to rewrite and change things. And I think that's such a powerful practice that I do with my clients when we go in deep and we want to rewrite a certain story around a relationship or job or life experience. And I came to realize, because as much as I can read for me, it so helps to have a third party perspective that's more unbiased. And this message came through of, it's not written. You have to be super clear. I go to another healer. They say the same thing. Another psychic, and they said, you really need to petition the guides. And I'm like, okay, well, if you're all saying more or less the same thing, I am going to do it. And that's actually what led to my soul petition guide that I have up on my website. If you go to nikkijoshi.com, you can download a version of that for yourself. The links will also be below in the YouTube description or show notes on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. So wherever you want to get that link, it's there for you. I made it very easy to use because I was making it for me, and I'm like, this was so helpful for me. I want to make this easy and accessible for you. And it is this self-inquiry, like guided process, about 5 to 6 questions, and takes you through really getting clear on, this is the kind of home or location I'm calling in, job, business, relationship, health state, whatever it might be. You can make it your own. But that's the process I went through, and I had this many-page document of everything I was asking for and calling in. And I'd even said in there, I'd like to have this job be signed in by June of 2025. And here I am recording this as of August 2025, whenever you're hearing it. And lo and behold, like, the universe delivered on my order, as one of my dear friends likes to describe the universe as this restaurant, and you just need to put in the right order and be clear about what you want and understand your options. And I very much did that with this process. Yes, there were many practical steps I took. A lot of interview prep, interviews, networking, and more that really helped me as well. But I do think the energetic work is just as important, and one that we can easily like throw by the side. Like, do I really need to do that when I actually need to get more applications out and prepare and more? I think the energetic work really sets this foundation for all parts of us, our subconscious, not just our conscious mind, to truly be ready to receive. And I have so many chills as I say that. So, I share all this with you with the hope that you can feel inspired, maybe reinvigorated or motivated to go after that goal that you've been hoping to achieve, or dream that big dream, or take that next step towards what you want to call in next. I think of it as a mix of very masculine steps, like you need to do, you need to ask, you need to go and make some action happen, as well as very feminine, receptive moves, like take time to regulate yourself, take care of yourself, and receive. Being in a receiving, receptive state is so important in this journey of manifestation. And I want to come to the whole pink purple cars that I mentioned at the start, and why is that significant? Well, many years ago, this is now 5+ years ago, I cannot believe I'm saying that, I was working with a coach, and she asked me this question, like, how would you know if a manifestation of yours is coming true? She asked me what could be a sign that your manifestation is on its way, and I just didn't give it too much thought, and I said, a pink car. And lo and behold, I was starting to see pink cars every so often, like maybe once a week, once in 2 weeks. It was a fun moment when I would see it, and then I didn't give it too much thought. And somewhere in this journey of looking for and calling in this next role for me, I started to spot pink cars. And every so often when I would see a pink car, I'd get super excited. I'd text some of my friends. I'd say, oh, I saw a pink car today, and oh, this came this way. And it started becoming purple cars too, became exciting. And then my family got in on it too. My daughter's like, oh, there's a purple car, there's a pink car. I saw one at school today. And the frequency started increasing so much, to the point that I can pretty much guarantee, I'm not kidding, I can pretty much guarantee I will see a pink car or purple car, van, truck, something of that sort if I go out any day. In fact, yesterday I went to give some returns at Whole Foods, and it's not a long drive for me. It's like 5 to 10 minutes. In that 5 to 10 minute drive, I saw a hot pink car drive past me at an intersection. And I go and park. And normally I actually park in the Target parking lot across the street because it's much easier to navigate and less dark and dingy. But it looked really crowded, and I decided to park in the Whole Foods lot instead, and thought it'd be easier to schlep all my stuff too with me. I turn, and within the first line of cars that are facing me, I see a pale pink car. And I'm like, oh my god, I've just been driving for less than 10 minutes and I saw 2 pink cars. Like this is next level. And I share all that as a playful way for you to ask your guides, and whichever, replace guides with, I call guides, spirit guides, universe, replace it with whatever higher power you relate to best. Maybe if it's just asking a future version of yourself too. If you're I'm not into all of that, that's okay. But I do think there's power in looking for signs in this fun, playful way, because it can elevate your energy and keep your hopes up. And isn't that so wonderful when you go through the low points, the dips in manifesting, when you do all the things and you do the energetic work and moves and the practical stuff, and yet nothing's happening? I certainly had those times, many times, in my journey of calling in this new job. And I'm still early. Nothing's perfect. I don't expect oh yes, I have miraculously manifested everything. But I'm rather in this place of, as another of my friends, dear friends, talks about, show me how good it can get. And I'm like, well, this happened and that's great. And show me how good it can get. And to me, those pink and purple cards really amplify and reinforce to me that I'm on the right track, and I'm listening and attuning to the energy around me, whether it be high or low or neutral or everything in between. I'm staying connected as much as I can, and I'm human, and I'll disconnect sometimes too. But I'd love for you to ask yourself, what might be a fun sign for you to look for on your manifesting journey, on your manifestation path. I'd love for you to not overthink it too much. If there's something that pops in your mind, that's great. If you don't have an idea yet, you can ask your higher power, your guides, to show you something in the next week and make it clear this is a sign for you to look for, and see what happens. I was reflecting, in fact, before recording this episode, how I started to set this intention around seeing these pink cars as a sign, and the universe needed some time to get things in order. Imagine that so many cars had to figure out how to custom paint their cars. I think there's a better term for it, but and the same thing was true for this role that I'm in. A lot of things had to line up for this job to be open and ready for me to receive and for me to say yes. And I know I myself can be impatient with the universe and not allow it to take its time, the time that it needs to get practical 3D things in place. So be patient, be gentle with yourself, be open. I hope this has inspired you on your journey, and I'd love to hear from you if this sparked something around what you're calling in as you're manifesting, as you're balancing the practical with the magical, as I continue to do and figure out how to do. Remember that there is the Soul Petition Guide available to you if that's something that speaks to you. And I will keep you posted on more offerings and ways that you can go deeper in your journey with me. For now, I'm sending you a lot of love and a lot of gratitude for being here while I've taken some time and space to take care of my needs and be in the energy of my new role. But I hope to be sharing more episodes soon, so stay tuned. and follow or subscribe, whatever works on your platform, because that helps me reach more people with this. And I want them to experience the magic that I've experienced tuning into this unseen world of energy that you can feel and sense. And how do you work with that? It's not always logical, and I do think it's something that we all deserve to experiment with at some point in our lives. With that, wishing you a wonderful day and week, wishing you lots of magic, a lot of love and regulation where you may be at and whatever you're moving through. Thank you for receiving.